Hi and welcome to my channel. I am Tammy Ozturk, the designer of badbobbin.com. Today we are making this cute little Happy Easter outfit for our Welcome Bear sign. So here's our Welcome Bear sign. I happen to have two different styles that you'll be able to stitch out. They both come in the file. And there's the same thing, Velcro on the back. They're little accent pieces. So let's put our bear here. Hopefully we can get him all situated. So same thing, it's going to, have the Velcro tear off. It goes right back on to where all in the right spot. It covers the little body. He's really cute. His little hat comes off. So we've got the plain one without writing if you don't want to have the writing. And then we've got it with writing if you want to go ahead and do the writing and have it on there. And then his little hat's the same. Two little accent pieces. We've got a carrot and our little peep bunny. So our two little accent pieces to go at the top, and the body is a little egg cracked open. So very cute, versatile. There's so many things you can do with it. I mean, I explain in the back as well, or I mean at the end of the video as well, that about that you can, instead of a plain and having the motif, you can leave out the motif and only do two of the steps, the tack down and then the final when you add the felt to the back, and use a printed vinyl. I'm sure there's going to be so many cute Easter prints out there coming from all these different vinyl companies. So that would be a great thing too, is just use a printed and don't have to worry about stitching out all these other things. Or you can stitch on top of the printed vinyl. Whatever you decide you want to do is perfectly fine. There's so many versatile things we can do, and you personalize it and make it your own. Personalize it with the family name on it if you'd like. Remove the welcome and put the family name here if you'd like, and just add that in. So there's so many things that can be done with this little bear sign. And yes, I'm coming out with more outfits for more holidays and seasons. If you want to comment below, like I'm going to say on every video, comment below with ideas that you want, are thinking about that I can put on the list and try to do if I can. And, if you like it or don't like it, if there are certain ways you want something explained more, or you don't care how it's explained, you've seen it enough and just want a quick review through the whole thing, let me know. I mean, I'm here to kind of help you guys and guide you the right way through these videos. That's why I do them. Even though it's a simple design, pretty quick at stitching out these designs, because this one does not have any appliques. This one doesn't have any added bows to it or anything. This is a really simple and easy, quick one to do. It's just a little bit bigger, so this one does have to go in the 6x10, and then these two will be done in the 4x4 or a larger hoop, whatever you want to do. So let's go on over to our cutting table and see the dimensions and what we need to do this cute little Happy Easter with the little egg outfit for our Welcome Bear sign. See you over at the cutting table. Okay, we're at the cutting table, and these are the things we're going to need to make our Welcome Bear Easter outfit. And this happens to be the egg for the Easter outfit. Next year I might do something different. So I have everything cut out. We need to do this one a 4x4 hoop or larger, and the 6x10 hoop. This is going to be for the whole outfit for the egg. So you'll see in a second when I show you. And tearaway stabilizer. You'll need tearaway stabilizer. I use and prefer this stabilizer here. You can see it's kind of see-through. It's not thin. This is a regular medium weight tearaway stabilizer. But this one here, I'll show it to you here. It's almost see-through. It's more like a really tight fiber. I don't know, I like this so much better, especially when it tears away. It tears nicely. It doesn't have as much fuzz like this one. I'm going to use this one here. It's a spare piece I had already in the 4x4, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. But I just wanted to show, like when it tears, it leaves like all these fibers. And these are really hard to get off in between on a tearaway. So it might be some people complaining about it. It's the type of tearaway that you're using that could be causing some of your problems or issues. When I tear this away, and if there's anything left on this, I use a lighter, and the lighter just singes away really quick. It just like rolls up. This one here, if you tried to do the lighter, it would catch on fire. You'll burn it. So the lighter doesn't always work on this kind of stabilizer, and this is a tearaway wash away actually. So I'm sure there's something a little different on the wash away that causes it to do that. So this is what I prefer. I get mine from threadart.com, threadart, and they always have sales and stuff, and I buy it by the roll, so it comes in rolls, and I just cut it to what I need to. So much better than having a sheet and wasting so much. So you'll need the tearaway stabilizer in a 4x4 and in your 6x10. And these will be the dimensions. There are 2 designs for the body, for the little egg shape. So here's the top, which is the hat, and then the outfit is the body. And I'm going to do one of them in blue, in a pastel blue vinyl. And this is just a regular marine vinyl, and the hat too. And then there's another one that I'm going to do an extra one just to show that I've actually have the writing on, which is Happy Easter. So that's the only difference, is you'll get both of them in the file, so you have your choice of if you know, whichever one you want to do, but both of them will come in the file. And this one here is saying Happy Easter on it. If you don't want it to say anything, you don't have to. You can go ahead and use the other one. And this one I'm going to use, this happened to be a flawed roll of purple diamond dust from Double H. So I didn't see any flaws. I don't see what the flaw is. I'm not sure. It's a little rough kind of feeling, a diamond dust. It's really fine. And if you get it in the right lighting, there's some little shimmers to it. Not sure if it, because there's not a lot of shimmer, if that was the flaw or not. I don't know. It's still pretty. It's a pastel purple diamond dust from Double H. So I thought I would use this for my Happy Easter part. So I'm going to make 2 of them, and I will actually run through, since they're really simple, there's not really a lot of explanation on this. There's no layering, there's no applique or anything. So these ones will be quick and easy. So I'm going to start out with the accents first on this time instead of the body. So for the accents, I'm going to do it in a 4x4, and it does come with a outline of a 4x4 if you happen to be doing it in a larger hoop. So you will find a placement for this in the file. You can also skip it if you don't want to do it. So I'll do it just to show you that it does stitch out. And then you're going to do, your felt piece is going to be one whole piece, which is the 4.5 by 4.5. And then the 2 accents are going to be separate. So I've got the little peep bunny that I'm going to do in a sparkly yellow, holographic yellow, I guess. I think I got this maybe from Glitterbug Fairy. And then I've got my orange marine vinyl. This I had in a roll. I think I got this one from my Punkbroidery. So I buy from all different people, different things. So if people start asking which vinyl I got from where, I kind of let you know now in my videos. So I've got a yellow for my peep. Decided to do the peep in yellow. Excuse me. You can do the peep in any color you want. I mean, they now come in pink, they come in blue. So purple, I think, yeah. So I'm going to do it in yellow. And my carrot, obviously, is done in orange. And then I've got my Velcro. So for the peep is a 2 by 2.5. For the carrot is going to be 2 by 3. It actually is low here, but when you push this piece in, I want that little piece to hang over so that you have enough for cutting. Okay, so make sure you, in your hoop, you're going to make sure that it's below your placement box, okay? So we've got that going, and then our 2 Velcro pieces, which are 1 1/4. Important, you want to do a little bit extra long so that it sews all around. Excuse me. And then we've got our egg shape for the body. So this one done in the 6 by 10 hoop, and there's a placement box for the hat part, and then there's the placement box for our egg, and then that's where we're going to put our felt pieces first, like we normally do, like all the other videos. The felt is done first, and you're going to put your Velcros down. You'll tear them out of the stabilizer and leave the stabilizer, so you still have you've only used this much of the stabilizer, so that's why I kind of leave it in and just tear it out gently, because it's just a waste. So we utilize it and continue to use it for the rest of the pattern. I usually put a piece in where this came out. You can, you cannot, it don't have to. If you think that where you tore it out, you can line the Velcro back up properly when you add it back. So there's so many different ways to do this. Jeez, oh, seriously. I cannot talk. And if you can line it up, then yeah. If there's just so many options that once you get to learn this and know how to do it, you can kind of guide things on your own and you'll get used to things how you do them. So that's this part, and then I'm going to go ahead and do one with the writing. And the only difference is from this one to this one is after it's stitched out all the patterns that are on here, it'll stitch out the writing on it. And that's the only difference. So, but I thought I'd make both of them so you can take a look at what they look like. So for the felt and the vinyl, both of them, you're going to need for the hat part 2 3/4 by 4 1/2. So the 2 3/4 by 4 1/2, and there's also a placement box for that. And then for the body part is going to be 7 1/4 by 7, and that'll be for the body. And then we've got our 2 Velcro pieces at 3 1/4, and then our other Velcro piece at 2 inches. All right, so we will head on over to the sewing machine and get started, and we're going to do our 4x4 first, the peep and the carrot in our 4x4 hoop. And then we'll continue on and do our 6x10, and then when I'm complete with that, we'll come back and cut things out. See you at the machine. Okay, we're at the machine. We're going to do our accent piece first, bunny and the carrot. And I'm going to put my hoop in. It's all in my machine ready to go. I've changed the colors and the color stops. And the first thing we're going to do is our little flannel piece for the back side. And don't worry, the way it's being done on your felt is supposed to be backwards to where your placement of these are, so that when you turn this around, it's going to match. All right, so you also may want to mark which side is the top. I mean, I don't think it's going to matter, but you may want to do that as well before you flip it over. So we're going to go ahead and do, first thing will be a placement box. Excuse me, in the 4x4, you don't have to do the placement box because we already know it's 4x4. But if you happen to do this in another hoop or something, then like a larger one, and you're using up some space on something that you had a small project and want to do that, it'll have a placement box for you. So here we go, placement box. All right, I'm not going to use any spray or anything because I'm going to actually be taking this out and still utilizing the same stabilizer as well. So I'm just going to lay my piece onto my stabilizer and kind of smooth it out a little bit right inside there, my square. I actually put the, I mean, it didn't matter because it's supposed to be 4.5 by 4.5, but I did put the longer side that I happened to cut up and down side. So the next one, as we put this in, is going to run the placement for the snaps, if you happen to be using snaps, and along with the little square on where we're going to put our Velcro. All right, that out. And we have our 2 little placement lines right there. At this point, if you're going to do your snaps, then you can just go ahead and tear this out. You don't have to go to the next part. If you're doing the Velcro pieces, this is our next part. And for the Velcro, to place them, to help hold them, I just use stick glue, just like on my the other videos that I showed. We're just using the plain old stick glue. School glue. I use Aleene's glue. I'll pick up any, 99-cent store little, children's craft glue sticks. They work just fine. And we're going to line it up evenly on each side and at the top and the bottom. It's kind of a close fit for this. And this is, I think this might be, that comes in a roll. They used to be 99 cents at Joann's, and it was just a roll of all different colors, all rolled up. Velcro, and just happen to have a bunch left over from a while ago. Not sure how much they are now. They might still be like in the dollar bin, maybe. And that's all. That's where I got this one from. No one's going to actually see it, so, and it does its job. All right, so we've tacked them down. They're being held by the little glue, and I'm going to pop it back in and stitch out to hold down our little Velcro pieces. All right, perfect. All right, so it did good. It stitched all around, stitched around. We'll end up cutting a little bit of these pieces off once we get them all cut out, so they'll be nice. What I'm going to do is carefully tear this out. Start. What I'm going to do is tear and hold, so I'm going to use both hands here. Tear. It's just a little square. So this tear away kind of leaves a fuzz, so not a huge fan of it for certain projects. There we go. So this is what it left, these little holes, and this is, like I said, it's really tough tear away. It's fibery, and this happens to be the wash away one, so I guess it really doesn't matter. When you wash it, it would go away, but we're not washing these, so yeah. The next step would be to do a placement box up here where the bunny's going to go, and it's going to do the little placement for the lining up the Velcro for the back when we line up our felt piece. Sorry, lost train of thought here. So don't need to cover these ones up really, because we're actually going to have them in where there's already stabilizer. So this first one's going to be a placement box for our peep, and then a placement box for our carrot. All right. You can cut some of your straggle threads if you want. It did, you know, it's sewed, stitched through where on this one. So if you want to add a piece, you can. Otherwise, just let it stitch like I did. No big deal. It's going to be in between sandwiched anyways. So I've got my yellow and my orange, and I can use either tacky spray or tape it down, or I'm just going to go ahead and do the stick glue again, just because they're small and little. I don't mind. It's just enough to kind of hold it for a second. So I'm going to center it in the center of this box. There we go. Careful if you've got the glue that it's coming through onto your table. I did not watch it, but I will clean my table. So and here's the orange one as well. Either way, we can go on the stabilizer. Maybe you should do that. I'll do that instead. So I'm gonna line this one up at the top and let it hang down at the bottom. That way I know for sure that that bottom part of the carrot, the little tip, like I said, like right here, since it's close, we're gonna go ahead and line it here, but add that little extra piece down here so we know we'll have a nice cut on our tip of our carrot. So, all right, everything's stuck down. It's not going anywhere. That's the back. And we'll go ahead, and what's going to stitch first will be our bunny rabbit. It's going to do the outline of the peep in black. Then it's going to move over and it's going to do the top of the carrot and the body of the carrot with the accent. I used a little bit darker orange than this. We'll see how that turns out. And then it's going to stop for me once it's completed stitching on the vinyl, and wait for me to add the back piece. Here we go. All right, and we're finished with this. We have our little peep. We have our carrot with some little accents on it and his little carrot top with the pattern in there. And we're ready to go ahead and add now. We'll take a look at the back. I'm going to clean it up a little bit with snipping it and singeing it. So let's do that a little bit. Get some of those little things hanging out so that when we cut it, we don't have those little extra strings in between the felt and our carrot. So and there we go. And then I've got, now I'm going to add to the back my felt piece. So I did mark my top. Like I said, I just used a clip, or you can use a paper clip or whatever, and knowing that this will be the top. That way, where these little squares are that it made our little placement lines, this should line up exactly as one whole piece right where we need them. All right, so I'm going to use a tacky spray on mine. I'm going to spray for a second. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and line up my little squares right on top of the other squares. So that one I know is right. And this one should, yeah, pretty much right where it needed to go. Perfect. Tack it in a little bit, and then we're going to flip it over and press down a little bit to make sure it's really tacked down nicely. Doesn't move on us or get caught. Excuse me. And there we go. We're all set. The back is on good and the front. We're just going to now do our outline for this peep and an outline for our carrot, and we'll be done with our accent pieces. All right, we are set. So we're finished for our accent pieces. That's the back side and the front side. And like I said, so see how much, just a little bit, and I actually went over the box here. So you can see the tip that you're going to need to, you can move this down even a little bit more, and then you'll have more at the bottom that you're going to need. A little peep guy turned out pretty cute. I love the little peep guys. They're so cute. So I'm going to set this aside, and we are going to bring back the 6x10, which my hoop's a little bit bigger than that, but the 6x10 hoop would be what it is for single needles, and do the eggs. So this one, to let you know, my machine is 1,000 stitch per minute, but I actually slowed this down to 700. So by doing the satin stitch and the pattern stitch here, I did slow the machine down to 700 stitch per minute. And that was 11 minutes for the stitch out time for this. So 11 minutes for stitch out time. And I can go back in and tell you what, sorry, it actually stopped. It's 3,697 stitches, and it's about 11 minutes, and that's putting it down to 700 stitch per minute. So I will be back, and we will be going on the egg. Be right back. All right, we're here with our larger hoop, and we're going to do the egg, Easter egg outfit. And it's 2 parts, 2 pieces. It'll sew out all at once, doing the placement for both with the felt, and then we'll take that out, and then it's going to do the placement, and it'll work all together. We don't have to do like the whole thing of one first and then the other. Right? We're going to do it with the blue vinyl right now. And the first thing will be putting it in the machine, getting placement lines. Placement box first for our felt, and then I'm going to lay my felt down and do the other placements. Starting out with this one, it's 5,102 stitches per minute. 5,102 stitches, 13 minutes stitch time, and this is with it being at 1,000 stitch per minute. And I'm not sure if I'll slow this one down or not. We'll find out as we go along. All right, and we're going to lay our 4.5 by the 2 3/4. You can tape it down since I'm not using my spray on this one because I'm going to tear it out. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape to kind of hold it in place. And same thing with our other felt piece. I'm going to put it in, and we want the, on this one here, you want it to actually hang over a little bit on each side of the box, on the top and bottom. It's because the printout are showing, it only goes so far sewing area, so we want to go over a little bit because we're right at that sewing area. So we want to make sure that our felt does hang over a little bit from the top and the bottom. I'm actually going to go this way with it. Okay, so I've got about a 1/4 of an inch, almost 1/2 inch overlapping on the top and bottom. I'll do the same thing. I'm just going to do a little bit of tape just to kind of hold it. And what this is going to do on this is just our placement for our Velcro pieces right now. Okay, I'm gonna stop and not do the placement for the, just to save some time. Normally we would, it would also put in where to put the snaps if you happen to be using snaps. That's the next step. I'm gonna go ahead and stop that just to save time. And we're gonna move on to our next step, which is going to be tacking down our Velcro pieces. So let me know down in the comments if you are making this and what you think, whether you want me to put the little placement for these snaps in a different color. I know on some of them I didn't, I just kind of included it. Whether you want me to put it in a different color so that you yourself can also stop and not have to do that, or if you don't care and just want to let it just sew, or not take that step of stopping your machine and moving forward. So let me know which way you prefer if you are doing this, if you think you want it in a different color so that you can stop it and avoid the little circles for the snaps. So you've got two options. You know, we can do it where I can just, you know, make it all one step, or make it different colors so it's separate so that you don't have to stitch it out. Not sure how much time it really would save, but I guess it might. I mean, if you leave it the same color, it's just going to stitch, not have to wait and change colors. So, alrighty, I'm lining it up, making sure it's even on the sides and at the top. There we go. Press it down, make sure it's stable. Stick glue works great. Here we go. And we are back in the machine. Here we go, back here, and we are set. We're tacking down our Velcro. All right, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to carefully remove the felt out of the stabilizer because we want to still use the same stabilizer. If you prefer to change and have a new stabilizer, that's up to you. I just figure if it's only doing a small little stitch, why waste it, and just carefully tear it out and we can still use what's here. Being frugal is what that is. There we go, torn out a little bit. We'll remove that before we put it back in. And time for the other one. You just want to hold it wherever we're tearing it. You know, right at the corner. You want to hold the stabilizer down so that we're not displacing it out of the hoop. So here, let me go this way and I can kind of show you. So I'm holding the stabilizer while I pull this out. I'm going to do this one. Kind of show you how. There we go. So we want to do this side too, carefully, since I don't have a lot of leverage. So this one I'm going to use my scissors to kind of hold it so I can get something down in there. So I'm showing you here, I put my scissors up against the edge of where the stitching is and kind of use it to pull against. All right, since I got that one open, I can go ahead and go this way with this. There we go. So then we'll clean this out too before we, same thing, before we put it back in. I'll clean those while we're waiting for the stitch out. So we have these two holes and it's going to stitch in these same places again. So this is where I was saying that if you think you're confident enough of lining your Velcros back up onto the back side when we add it, there's really no need to do that stitch, or there's no need to even put a piece of stabilizer behind it. But I'm going to put the stabilizer and show you. I flip over the back and I'm just going to add that little piece right over top of it. No big deal. You can leave the tape on it, masking tape if you want. It doesn't matter. We'll cut around it. It can sew over it. It really doesn't matter. So just adding a little piece over top of it. It's going to actually be inside the egg anyways. And once you get to the certain part, you can actually trim this away if you want to with scissors as well. So that's it for the back there. I just kind of taped some pieces over. So the front, it's kind of covered. So it's going to do a placement line on the stabilizer. Since we used the same stabilizer and it already has our stitch out boxes, I did not add any more. So you may want to have to go back to the very beginning and forward and backwards your pattern in your machine. Because I figured if you're going to use a stabilizer, we're going to do this all in one. So I did not add an extra placement box for if you use another piece. So you'll have to go back to run that if you need it. Okay, so the next step now is going to be on the stabilizer. It's going to go ahead and sew out my placements for when I need to add my back pieces. All right, so we've got little placements here. This is where we're going to need that placement on the back side when we place our things. So the next step will be the placement or attaching these down onto here. I'm going to use tacky spray on this because I want these ones stable. So, and I know they're not lifting up or anything. Just a little bit of tacky spray on these. I'll set that one in there. And then I've got this one. So same thing, you want a little bit hanging over on top and the bottom. That's where we want most of our hanging over so that we have some leeway on cutting it out so that there's going to be enough there on top and bottom. So just remember that, top and bottom, even though the square is there, we need to go over our square. All right, so the next steps are going to be tacking down and doing the outline of the egg, and then it's going to go through its series from top to bottom. It's going to go through the colors that I've chosen, but you can choose any colors you want. You can do however you want. I'm doing the top little, it's going to be a little motif. I've got 5 motifs in the body part of the egg. So it's going to do those 5 motifs, and then it's going to do its little motif in the top and stitch all that out. So we have about 7 more minutes to go. So here we go. All right, now we have everything stitched out, little motifs on here, and our little hat with a motif. Next thing we're going to do now is I'm going to clean it up a little bit in here, take some of the tape off if I don't need it. You don't have to, you can leave it. It's really not going to make that big of a difference. It's up to you. And then we'll add our flannel piece. Doing, sorry. Limited space here at my machine. All right. I'm just going to go ahead and leave the tape and stuff. On this part here, I'm going to go ahead and tear it on the outside because we're going to end up tearing the stabilizer off. So on this part, I am going to take the tape off, whatever's on the outside of the design. It's going to come out with a cleaner edge, I guess we can say that. It's inside, inside. And we don't want to be careful doing this so that you don't stretch or pull your stabilizer. All right, there we go, a little bit. So I'm going to turn it this way. And I tore the stabilizer off the back pieces here. And I'm going to finish the threads as well on this, just to keep it from those little ends sticking out when we, well, actually here it won't make a big deal. But there we go. So the more space here at the bottom, so it's a little bit longer than here. This will be the top, so it's going to go at the top of the egg. That way we have more space down here to cover the bottom of the egg. And same thing on our Velcro piece. Either way, as long as it's covering in between and you can see the design. So I'm not sure which way this went, but this one really doesn't matter as long as you have enough to cover where we're going to stitch. And same thing with these ones. I'm going to use some tacky spray on these two as well. So I'll be right back. One. This is the tacky spray I use if you wanted to know. Aleene's tacky spray. In my 15 years of using it, have not had a problem. So, not had a problem with anything. And I get my machine maintained regularly and they tell me there's never been any problems. Let me turn that over. So I'm going to line up right on the lines, make sure that the square lines up good. There we go. And I'm going to push it down really quick. Flip it back over. Now I'm going to line up my, on the egg. I want to make sure the top ones are lined up good. And we're going to come down and they line up perfect. Perfect, perfect. There we go. Smooth it out, careful. We don't stretch it too much because we're going to be going over this outline, so we want to make sure it's all going to line up. So fingers crossed that it's going to line up. There we go. And I'm going to cut this little orange piece here. So I kind of goofed on mine with that little mishap of not changing out my orange. So let's see if that works. And our next step now is it's going to do our bean stitch all around the egg and the hat, and we will be done. So this one's kind of a quick and very simple stitch out for this Easter egg one. Here we go. Okay, we are finished with the egg, finished with the body part. So we've got like what would be the jacket would be here, just a body part, the egg, and then his little hat part for his head. So I'm going to go ahead and unhoop this, hoop another piece of stabilizer, and I'm going to do the egg that has the writing on it. And that'll be just a quick run through the whole thing. I won't need to explain anything, and show you when the writing comes up is towards the end as well. And we will do one more with the writing. I'll show you that really quick. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gonna, same thing, this one actually is a 19-minute stitch out with the lettering. So this is the one with the lettering. And I'm gonna keep the colors pretty much the same. So the purple will be the purple on here. And it's also gonna go on this little shimmer. Kind of, you can actually see the shimmer a little bit. Well, not really. Under this light, you can see that this has a little shimmer in the stardust, but it's actually really cute. So it's a little bit thinner, little different texture to it. It's kind of a little bit stiffer, but yet thinner, more pliable, and or not as pliable. Sorry. So I will be doing the same thing, but I'm not going to commentate throughout it. I'm just going to go ahead and do it, and then run through and make it quick, speed it up a little bit, so we're not wasting time. Sorry, talking and wasting time. So let's get started on this. It's just the one that's going to have the words. We're going to do everything else the same. Same everything technique. I have white. I ran out of my tan color to go with it, so I'm using white now. So here we go. Okay, now we're going to finish up our projects. And I'm going to unhoop, remove from the stabilizer, pull all the stabilizer off, and trim the threads that are hanging. There we go. Okay, that was quite a bit. I'm glad I sped that up for you guys. It's like watching paint dry, huh? All right, so I've got my pieces, and I have not trimmed them yet, or much of the lighter. So there isn't really a whole lot to trim, just a little bit on the back. There's some spots here for me to trim. And yeah, here there really isn't much. And I should have cut, so lesson learned, should have cut these before we did that on the Easter egg one. I did not think about that. Didn't realize how high it actually was, but yeah, just kind of nicked those pieces. So we need to cut those beforehand. So that's a lesson that I learned, and that benefited you. So you know ahead of time to cut your ends of the Velcro for that. And this actually worked out fairly well. I think we need to cut these as well beforehand. So same thing, lesson learned by me for you. So I'm going to go ahead and trim threads and then go into the cutting. All right. We have everything cut out. Yay! So we've done our little bunny and our carrot and our 2 different outfits. And I will kind of put them there. So if you want to screenshot and keep your measurements. But here we go. And the top fits perfect right there. So the hat, and that one is in purple. And I didn't make 2 sets of these because if I decide which one I want to do, I'm going to have the same little tchotchkes anyway. So I call them tchotchkes, accents for, the top there. But if I happen to want to sell one of them or whatever, I'll make another set of those. But this time we didn't need to, so I just sewed the 2 different ones out. Let's go get our bear, and we throw the trash away real quick on my way. And let's go get my bear off the wall, and it's changing out from St. Patrick's Day to Easter. So here we go. Here's our St. Patrick's Day little outfit. It was cute, but it's no more. And we're going to remove that. So this little guy is going to go in its baggie for next year. It's all put away. And our next set I'm going to do will be I'm going to go without saying Happy Easter for now, and then I'll change it out when we get closer to Easter. But that kind of fits perfect. Look at that. It's so cute on him. Ah, I love it. And then here's this little hat. Looks so cute. And his little rabbit, or little peep rabbit. And our little carrot. Very cute. So there is our welcome bear sign with our Easter design, the Easter egg. And that's what it would be like with the Happy Easter on it in purple. You can do any color you want, any style you want. And another thing I forgot to mention in the beginning, which I might in the very beginning when I get to that part, but you can eliminate the 5 motifs. So you're just going to do your outline to tack it down and then skip all these steps and go to just the tack down of the bean stitch at the end when you add your felt to the back. And you can use a printed vinyl. So I'm sure there's going to be some really, really cute Easter prints out there. And if you find an Easter print or a cute little spring or some sort of print that would be cute for the egg, use that. I would say forget the little motif. I mean, even if you want to put the motifs, maybe it would be cute, depending on the pattern of the vinyl. So it doesn't have to be a plain vinyl. There's so many options. You can play with this thing, eliminate stitches, and just use a printed. So I think that would be really cute too. Hopefully someone comes up with it and makes one with printed. I might, who knows, if I find an Easter print vinyl. But if you're out there making this, please go to the website and post your little bear. I want to do, people who make this bear and do the outfits. I want to see what you've done with it. Even if it's the same thing as here, I'd like to see it, boast it and post it. And that's my thing, post and boast on my Facebook page, which is Bad Bobbin. So go to that, post it. Let's see your work, what you do with this little bear too. And I'm going to have, yes, more designs coming out. I've been working on it, trying to work on a Mother's Day right now. Something cute. Not sure what I'll do for the Mother's Day, but we'll figure something out. Maybe a little sundress or something. So it's very versatile what you can do with this one, especially with the egg shape and not having a whole lot in here. You can use a printed one as well. So I'm glad you joined me for this one. Thumbs up. I know it might be a little long one again. I'm so sorry. So I'm going to, if you enjoyed it the way I've done it so far with, a little bit of explanations and then speeding up through a lot of things, let me know down below in the comments. Give me a thumbs up if you liked this, enjoyed it. Hopefully you watched through the whole thing. And subscribe if you haven't, and ring the bell, and you'll get more notifications with some more really cute patterns and other ideas and things that we're stitching out, and tutorials on how to do things. If there's something specific you want to know that I have not touched on a video, I know a few people have mentioned that they wanted to see how I do the hair bun covers on the normal side, not the ones with the 3D. So, I've got a list of things that people have asked for. I am working on those things, and we'll get them done and post them out. So comment below. I'd love to hear from you, or comment in the Facebook group as well. That's Bad Bobbin. And this design is by badbobbin.com, and it should be out this week. If not this week, it'll be next week, depending on if I get the video done on time this week. I've only got less than a day to do it, so it'll probably be next week when I get this out on my Friday release. So hope you enjoyed it. Thumbs up, and we'll see you at the cutting table.